I'm not gonna be in the thumbnail. The thumbnail's already done.
Oh.
Hi, friends. Host Eric here. Let's do it. Talking into today, family. I say people out plays, and I call this episode of Talking to Famous People, this live stream, NI Hailstones. Why? Because there are too many NI truths being thrown at you today for them to be sized any larger than hailstones. Okay. I've got so much to talk about, so many things to say, so many truths to share with the world today. Hi, Jackie Kitty. That they're spilling out of me like hailstones from a cloud stuffed full of hailstones. I'm talking about NI Hailstones today, philosophical thinker Nelson Del Pino. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. So the first NI Hailstone I want to talk about is the happy reality that yesterday was kind of a big day for me, and in the movements of the slabs. I had been running a reasonably successful, I guess, debate school until I got hooked up with Kimberly. And from that point until, I guess the beginning of, well, until yesterday, really, I didn't win a thing, basically, in any debate tournament. I didn't really coach much. I haven't been coaching much at all. Kimberly marked the beginning. Like when I met with her, I had one more big tournament to go to with autonomy. Where we traveled to Kentucky. We competed there. We did really badly at that tournament. And I was disappointed. And I came back, and in the mix of that summer with Kimberly, I never really quite put together the fall. It was difficult. I don't know, difficult trying to get her to get on board with shit, and it was a struggle. So basically, for about 2.5 years ago, a little longer, I met Kimberly. And about 2.5 years ago, I went to the last tournament with Autonomy Debate School, where I had my own school, my own team. We traveled, did shit like that, right? From that point till now, basically, that's been the death of Autonomy Debate. Autonomy Debate died after that first tournament with Kimberly in Kentucky, and it's been dead ever since. Now, I've been started working with this one student. Anyway, I don't know, about a year ago, and he's struggled. We started. He started off when I got him, though. He was losing every single round. He had been coached by somebody else and losing every single round. And he's gotten slowly better. He's improved, and but the thing is, his results haven't improved as fast as he has. So I would have expected him to have already won a couple of little things or whatever. But he just hit some walls, he hit some bad luck, or hit some whatever, or he was stuck in the curse of what was happening to me. As goes it for the king, so goes it for the kingdom. And the kingdom of my debate program was suffering the cancer that my ontology was suffering. So there was no good things happening for me debate wise for the last 2.5 years. I just didn't win, wasn't successful, wasn't really looking for work or trying to find clients or whatever, and just basically the end of autonomy debate. Now, yesterday though, I went to the league tournament with Jeffrey. A couple weeks ago, Rachel and I went to the invitational tournament, and Jeffrey went 2-2. He lost 2 rounds and won 2 rounds. And I was like, well, it's okay. I was hoping for a little better, but at least we broke even, Now this week, Rachel and I yesterday went to the tournament, and I've been telling the family, like, look, he's better than the results. And I really kind of hammered that message home yesterday, because he started yesterday, went in first round, he lost the first round, and it was a disclosed loss. It was the only disclosure all day. So the other judges he had, nobody told him whether he won or lost. But the first round judge did say, and he said, you lost. So he had a disclosed loss coming right out the gate. But I didn't get discouraged. And I told him not to get discouraged. And I said, no, the newspaper headlines make it sound like something's going on around here, but life doesn't seem like that at all. I mean, I haven't experienced any blackouts, brownouts, I haven't seen any sign of fires. I don't even know what the fuck to do with that.
I've heard fire engines, but they haven't been going towards us. It's been mostly away, which is very lucky.
Countess is going to Santa Cruz.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Jeffrey is the young student at the tournament, right? He's an 8th grader and he's an EHP. And I've been talking to his parents a lot about how let him be an EHP. Stop trying to get it. Stop ESTJing the shit out of him, Mom. Mom's an ESTJ, I think. Hi, yes. Isaiah Rude. Anyway, so long story short, yesterday we were very happy. We went to see after the preliminary rounds to see if he advanced to the playoff rounds or the elimination rounds. And he did. He broke, it's called, where you get to go into the advancement rounds. And so that was great. We were very happy. And then he won his first break round. So we got to go to a second break round. And we were super happy at that point. It's like, okay, so he's now down to the final 4 and the 4 people in the tournament. There's 4 kids left, and the rest of them have been eliminated. And he won his last round as well, and it still wasn't absolutely clear how he'd do because he had that loss on his record. And Rachel and I left before awards, but I was super stoked to get a text and phone call later saying he got first place. He won the whole tournament. So it's like, we're flushing out all the blockages. This is how shit used to go for me in debate. I mean, I'd go into tournaments thinking, this is going to be a tough one this time. And somehow I'd walk out with first place trophies. When I was with Kimberly, not blaming her for this at all, but just saying when I was with her, that stretch of time, everything in life, I mean, I said it from early on. She was a counter magician to me. She was working against all my spells all the time. She was actually casting counter spells against everything I was doing all the time. And things I realized this was happening early on. I told her this is what's happening. I complained about it in live stream stuff. Why I left, I don't know. But she's a powerful fucking wizard. I gotta tell you, she fucking shut me the fuck down. I got no trophies. I got no meow. I got no meow. Yeah, she was muting my mojo. Is exactly what the fuck she was doing. Muting my mojo is the perfect way to put it.
Muting my mojo. It's really good.
So anyway, this family, they really deserve this first place. The parents have put a lot of energy into it. They put a lot of money into it. The kids put a lot of energy into it. The kid cares a lot. I have a really good relationship with the family. Like the mom calls me when she's worried about something, and I tell her, you stop worrying so much about Jeffrey. You let him be him and stuff like that, and it's great. So, and they believe in me, and they value my skill sets and stuff. So it really feels good to get that win. If anybody deserved it, of all my debaters, he totally deserved it. And so it was a great first place. And it's perfect because it's like, although it's strangely somehow this dynamic doesn't actually really exist between us, but there's still an element of it too where it's like, this is perfect because it looks good for my new girlfriend,
I was so happy.
I don't really want a lot more debate work myself as well. I don't want more work, frankly. So I don't want to hand out cards. And the reason I'm working with these people is because I like them so much. And the kid's an ENTP. Well, he's an ENTP and his sister's an ISTP. And this is one of the things I'm doing for the family I think is more valuable even than the debate coaching, frankly, is I keep explaining to them, this is what you can reasonably expect of this kid, and this is what you can reasonably expect of this kid, and this is what you cannot. And if you're trying to force them to do shit that they're not cognitively, attentionally capable of doing, or it's not in their wheelhouse, then you are committing ontological violence against them. And the thing is, they both play for the LA Philharmonic. They're like, that's pretty successful, right? If you're a classical musician, if you took violin lessons as a kid, basically the most your parents could hope for is for you to be in maybe the London Philharmonic would be a little more prestigious. Probably New York Philharmonic's a little more prestigious, but LA Phil's pretty fucking prestigious.
Yeah. They're all of the Philharmonics are, I would say, on the same level.
So I mean, yeah, the point is, you'd want to, if you were a parent and you said, okay, I want my kid to get into classical music. Your ultimate dream goal is they're going to be so good they play in a major metropolitan philharmonic.
Yes.
Both of their parents do.
That's, I mean, yeah, I mean, for a musician, wow.
So, they obviously they have high expectations and stuff, but they're reasonable. They understand, they're fair, and they understand that shit sometimes happens. And they take steps actually to reassure me sometimes. Listen, believe me, we know all about these competition kid things. We went through them ourselves when we were kids, and I know how this goes. Of course, yeah, they're Chinese. They're Chinese people.
Any full-time orchestra gig is a string player's dream come true, LL. It really is, though. That's not a joke.
Well, I mean, and they fly to Europe and stuff with the Philharmonic. They have to go play at various fancy things. They play for royalty in Europe and stuff and shit like that.
Pretty major.
So, anyway, I really like them. I just like them as people. They're fun. They're cool. They sometimes give me free tickets to the LA Philharmonic for a while too. I basically get up I can get free tickets if I were to say, if I had a good reason to want to get free tickets, I could just ask them and they'd get me some free tickets.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They would.
Periodically they offer them from me. The mom is a Tiger mom, but she's cool. She lets me yell at her.
She talked to me yesterday. Some Tiger moms won't even talk to anyone except for their kids.
No, she's very much fair.
She's very
she'll
nice.
sit there and get scolded for being too much of a Tiger mom. Which if she's willing to do that, she's okay in my book.
Yeah. We appreciate it.
I'm sorry, can you hold that for a second?
Sure. Hi everyone. Winston's mom, Calidus 1. Did you like playing? My children took music lessons, and my son, the INTP, was a natural talent. My daughter was not. Helicopter parents. I guess ESTJs could be helicopter. Hi.
I just also want to say they're physically affectionate with their kids, but you don't see in Chinese people very much.
Oh, that's nice.
They hug them, and the daughter, the son will go and sit next to the mom on the couch or lie on her lap or whatever, and they pat each other. They pat her back. What I consider totally normal family behavior, but you don't see it a lot in Chinese families.
No, it's true. A sad day in TWP. Why are we both wearing yellow? I chose this shirt first, I think. I'm not sure.
Green and yellow, green and yellow, green and yellow. Because we're wearing Talking About Famous People shirts. That's why. Because we're special.
We are special.
Mike Hart. We both have on the special shirts. This is the first edition shirt, okay? I only made 50 of these. They're all long gone.
Wow. I feel honored. The yoke's on you.
Rachel, you're borrowing that shirt. That's my shirt, okay? I did not give you that shirt. Yes, Rachel, I did give you that shirt. It's all yours, darling.
No, I switch it up and stuff too.
Yeah, of course.
But I love it. I love the shirt.
You are my hero and perfect precious angel who can do no wrong, Rachel. So any critique that you think is actually a critique of you, it's always a joke. Okay?
You're right. I know. Who is the most Philharmonic of all the types? I can see. I don't know.
ISTP, maybe.
I can see ISTP. Yeah.
You get the feeling that their ISTP daughter could follow in their footsteps.
Yeah. She wore a dress yesterday.
Chloe?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice what she was wearing.
Yeah, she did.
Did she not normally wear a dress?
It was a fancy dress for,
she must have been. She must have maybe gone to the performance with them.
Oh, probably.
Sure. One of them had to work. Oh, he had to work. He had to go and play. He left the debate tournament, went and played the concert, and came back.
Yep. It's really exciting. It was a long day of seeing the progression of things. It was really fun, actually. I had fun.
Now, I appreciate that after the tournament, Rachel praised my interaction with the student. So it's like she's saying she's not complaining about it being a long, boring day.
No.
And she's having a response where she says, I see what the good thing that you're doing and approve of it, Eric. That's what I need in a relationship partner.
It was great.
Thank you, baby.
And he was you're welcome. You're the best too. Hey, CJ O'Connell. We're talking about how Eric's client won the tournament yesterday. He got first place. And we weren't sure. And then he got a call from Jeffrey's parents saying that he won first place.
Yep.
He got trophy. He got 2 trophies, didn't he?
He must have gotten a speaker point trophy.
Oh, awesome.
That's usually what that suggests. They sometimes have a separate speaker point award, which real debate coaches don't care much about speaker point awards because it's like if you can, I would almost rather win the tournament with really low speaks. It means you did a fantastic job of coaching the strategy.
Oh.
So it's like speaker points don't mean a lot to me. But I mean, Jeffrey's an ENTP, and as I've told his parents, you need to expect his ideal future to not follow some super conventional track. I've encouraged him many times to encourage him to start a YouTube channel and start uploading videos now. He would have done the same. C.S. Joseph could not coach debate if his life depended on it. I mean, literally.
He would use a dry erase board.
Literally, it is the case that if his life depended on it, and he had 6 months to prepare a kid, and I had 1 week, my kid would wipe the floor with him.
Oh, yeah.
It's equally true. If he had 6 months to prepare and he had to debate my 8th grade student would wipe the floor with him. And with no doubt at all, would destroy him. It wouldn't even have to be my kid. Even a lesser coach's kid would beat him. Like a middle school kid. He has no argumentation in him at all. Hey, well, that's where Hailstones come from. I've got a lot of topics I need to talk about.
Yes.
So, here's the thing. Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about is the burden imposed by avoidance. Okay. So one thing that happened last night is on the way home from the tournament, when I should have been happy and celebrating the fact that he had made the last round, which is great. You know, at that point I knew he couldn't get. Still didn't think he was going to get first place because it means he had to have the highest speaks, and there had to be no 5-0 people. There had to be the best record had to be 4-1 because he lost a round. You know, so I didn't think he was going to get first. But I should have still been. I was happy that I knew he was going to trophy. He was going to get a trophy, and that was great. That would
you were happy with that.
If he had gotten third place, I would have been stoked. You know, that'd been great.
Yeah.
But instead, I ended up having to deal with Spacey, who texted me because he wants his headphones back. Well, fine, he can have his headphones back. I don't want to steal his headphones. And I said I'll drop him off on the way home from the tournament. And then he revealed to me that he had to move to Ontario. Okay, well, fine. He had his last day in Temple City, and he had to go to Ontario. Fine. Keep in mind, the reason that was his last day in Temple City is because he had no postmark, not the same as Spacey. So anyway, I was like, okay, well, I started doing what I continually am doing, which is I started trying to have the conversation that I need to have, but without the person I need to have it with. I need to have a conversation with Tori. Why? Is it because um, some arbitrary reason? No, it's because she's fucked up on a bunch of occasions and won't be held to account for it. So nothing gets resolved. And so what happens? I carry that around with me. I carry this irritation around with me. There's this person out there who needs to be held to account, who has not been held to account. And then it's like I hear things like people, well, don't talk shit about people on the internet. I only talk shit about people on the internet when they have unfairly burdened me with refusal to resolve things by talking to me. I've got no beef with Spacey, but it's like he is adopting her frame on a lot of things here. He's saying like, well, you took on the responsibility for us. You shouldn't have taken on that responsibility if you weren't going to be serious about it. As though that didn't come with any terms at all, right? Which of course it did. The terms being, obviously, if as I'm thinking we're working together as a team, you're actually operating in bad faith, and you brought in somebody who's working against me. Well, then that kind of breaks the deal, right? It's I did say to them, I'll make sure you're not homeless, and I did, right? And we were going to have a meeting about what to do about his pending need for more housing.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, but before we get to that, we need to address this other thing first. And she just refused to come to the meeting. So, it's like the reason I'm on the internet telling about all this stuff is because I'm not getting the proper satisfaction I should from the person I ought to get it from. And I'm like, well, basically, she needs to be held to account. He says she has been held to account. The fuck she has. She's been allowed to avoid the things she's trying to avoid, which is me holding her account, scolding and shaming her being head down, acknowledging everything, admitting it, and trying to move forward by working with me rather than against me. So the point of this is people have very strong reactions sometimes to my making public other people's private business. It is never the case that I'm making public other people's private business. It is always the case that somebody has made something my business and doesn't like that I'm making it public. But the fact is, no sane human being who knows anything about me can choose to come around me and claim that they expected that I would by default not talk about shit. Now, if somebody wants me to commit to not talking about specific things in advance of interacting with me, fine. I may or may not agree to commit to that, But if you're going to be hanging around me, then expect your bullshit to get called. And if you won't then deal with that responsibly, expect it to get called publicly. Because what are you doing? You're burdening me with this fucking anger and this unresolvedness and this resentment and this whatever. So if you deny me any legitimate channel to resolve that, then I will bitch about it on the internet. And that's all there is to it. I don't know why people have so much trouble burdening the responsibility they impose upon themselves. Shit itches my ass. I'm not sure what that means. It's kind of a weird phrasing, but the other thing is one of the things going on is dealing with Rachel's mom. Now, the difference between Tori and Tori's dad and that whole thing, and Rachel and Rachel's mom and this whole thing, right? She wrote a comment on the Dark Triad stream saying, I lie and slander people on the internet. Still no specifics on her part. If I was slandered, I'd want to set the record straight. That's exactly right, Hamla.
Oh my God.
I didn't even see that comment. If she's accusing me of lying, then tell us what I have lied about. If she's accusing me of slandering people, then tell me what I have lied about again. Who have I lied about and what lie have I told about them? That's very straightforward. I hope she does see the streams. She needs to learn from them. That's my whole fucking point. She needs to learn from me. And the last thing that she said to me of any consequence before refusing to interact with me further was, I don't want to learn anything from you, Eric. And I said, okay, so the ring costs $38. Fine. What's the big deal? What does that have to do with anything? Does that mean I lied when I said they bought an engagement ring? They didn't tell me how much it cost. They said it didn't really cost that much. Okay, well, was it fair for me to conclude it probably cost a few $100s? Yeah. If it really did only cost, they never told me how much they paid. If you are going to be buying an engagement ring, right, with money you're supposed to be using for rent, and you want to make clear that you haven't misappropriated those funds, then you should tell me that, right? But Tori didn't want to be responsive to anything or proactive about anything either. She wanted to control the frame and spent the conversations blaming me for shit. Countess one. Look, I have not ever accused Spacey of doing anything wrong in spending money on either the conference with the hotel tickets and the tickets in the hotel or the ring. I pointed that out as examples of things that annoyed me. And I pointed out that, and I guarantee you those hotel rooms and the tickets for the conference weren't $38. Some people can't argue with you because, I mean, watch you being angry for some reason is very scary. It is only scary to people who will not be fair, direct, honest, and open. Hambo makes a good point. It's not even about the money, really, but the bigger financial picture. Spacey was entirely dependent on Eric, and he thinks he should get married. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Um, look, Countess, this is the thing where I was directing funds to them periodically for various reasons. We need money for groceries. Here's some money. Here's $80. That's like after we need housing. Okay. I spent, first of all, remember this. I spent $1,100 to get them housed through September 15th. But Kimberly kicked them out on like the 2nd or something. So then I had spent another $1,000 to get them housing until the end of September. And as I stressed to Spacey, you're going to have to hustle here, put up a lot of individual videos each day to make sure you can generate the typing service revenue that you need. Because, and I told them, I made it clear, look, I don't have a lot of extra funds here. You guys really going to need to make this work with the revenue as indicated in the agreement that he could keep up to $4,000 a month, all of the typing revenue for up to $4,000 a month. Okay. So I was telling him at that point, and I did also say, now look, if at the beginning there's a little bit of a need for extra shit to make up a difference, another $500 or something, I can do that. But it needs to be self-sustaining very quickly, you know? He didn't do the legwork I told him to do. He didn't put up multiple videos every day, multiple short videos. In fact, he ignored what I said and put up one long video, and then several days later put up another long video, and then it was way after I told him to do that and all that kind of stuff. Now I get it; he's SC Polar, so it's true that maybe I was too optimistic about the possibility of generating that much typing revenue. It's also true that I did what I needed to do to get things rolling at the beginning, where we did that big typing blitz, right? He kept all the money from that. Like I said, in addition to all of those funds, I was directing funds that I had from other sources, right? Thousands of dollars towards sustaining him. What I needed was to have Tori held to account for a couple of things. Texts she sent, bullshit ideas she had, wrong frames that I wanted her to disavow, word stuff. If you won't give that to me, you can't blame me for not following through on what I said, because I did follow through on what I said, above and beyond. And clinging to the one word, I won't let you be homeless, that's not under any circumstances. Even if you steal money from me and stab me in the face and shit on my chest, I'll still do it. No, it's not under any terms, obviously. It's assuming a good faith bargaining that you guys are on my team and not opposing me. So when Spacey admitted at McDonald's that Tori was actively engaging with other community members in shit talking me, and she wouldn't come to the meeting, so I couldn't hold her accountable for that either. That was it. That was just it. I had plenty of chance. I've been trying to hammer this thing with Tori for quite a while. She's been avoiding. Sorry. Again, Countess, he wasn't spending the actual money that he had earned, which was up to $4,000 a month from typing revenue. It said specifically in the document I gave him, not other revenue. So the money, it's like, was the money he spent from the typing revenue or from the extra money from my like debate work that I gave him? So I go work. I'm gonna go work tonight at. He never made that much. I was saying that was the agreement, that I figured he'd probably need around $4,000 a month to support himself entirely, especially now that he had Tori here. So I said, look, we could actually make this happen for sure. I believe we can, but we're going to have to hustle. Now, the thing is, I didn't keep hustling. That's true. But then again, I wasn't going to keep any of the money. And I gave him very specific instructions about how to hustle to make it happen. And he didn't do that. And I got a text from Tori saying she's not happy and she really feels like she and Spacey are getting the short end of the stick here because I seem to be living comfortably and they're struggling. And Rachel got text from Tori saying things like, I hope you're happy, Rachel. You seem to be enjoying yourself, whereas we're struggling. That kind of shit, right? That I want to hold her to account for. Make her understand why that was so wrong. So the point is, you could say it that way, mutant macrophage. I mean, the thing is, he did some things of use for me. He checked my email and stuff. He handled some communications for me. He doesn't anymore. As soon as after that McDonald's meeting, I came home, changed my passwords, and that's it for that. No more working relationship. So the thing is, no, you're right. Him plus Tori staying with you was never meant to be a sustainable long-term solution. I agree. It was never intended by me at all.
Right.
Not Tori's presence was never part of this arrangement. It was from the get-go. It was, yes, Spacey, you can stay here. I do need a secretary. You can stay here with me and Kim and be my secretary. We'll make videos. And we'll see. And there was no arrangement. There was no pay at all. It was just like he was depressed to the point of being sort of suicidal in New York. And I said, you need me. You need to be here with me. So I invited him to stay, and that's fine. And we got along just fine. Everything worked just fine as long as Tori wasn't there. Once Tori arrived, that was the slab's way of teaching him a bad lesson by transferring my burden onto him. He got Kimberly. And Kimberly is dragging him into the muck. And she dragged me into the muck. She's a counter wizard. It's like, as I was saying in another part of this live stream, everything I did, she cast counter spells. Well, that's what Tori's doing. She tried to do it with me. Of course, I had just finished all that shit. I recognized it immediately for what it was. And I probably reacted a million times more strongly than I would have 3 years ago. Because I would not allow that to happen ever again to me. And she would not be allowed that. Well, no, look, evil always takes the form of magic, as does righteous goodness. It's like that which is truly meaningful and powerful in the world is either evil or good, which means that for it to be evil or good, it needs to be magic. The thing is, Joey Jojo Shabadoo, no. What I get is why she was so offended. I get that. I got that at the time. Fed up, I don't get. She didn't give him a chance to get fed up with them. In other words, she never had a problem with them. She had a problem with the idea. Now, she was right to have a problem with the idea. I had a problem with the idea too, but I was just rolling with it and see how it plays out, you know? What else can you do? Yes, and only one of us is speaking the truth, Jean Grey. And who is speaking the truth? The one who's willing to have the conversation with the other person. It's the one who runs and hides who is always the evil one. The one who wants to publicly have the conversation and admit everything that he did wrong and talk about what the other person did wrong too. That's the good person. The person who wants to only tell their side of the story, who doesn't want to be subject to questions, who doesn't want to face critiques like yours. That's the evil person. I do want to face these critiques. I do want to answer these questions. I do want to be honest and direct about what actually happened. I do want to take responsibility where I did make mistakes. That's why I'm the good person and she's the evil one.
That's why you're addressing this too.
That's why I'm addressing it too.
You said that.
Yes, good and evil equal magic, because normative truths are beyond logical. I mean, you can logically sustain moral truths, deontological moral truths, never utilitarian ones. But at the end of the day, if they don't conform to the intuitive truth of moral righteousness and evil, then it won't work. So in that sense, they rely on a metamagical thinking frame, and of course, therefore, I don't even want to get into the magic part of it. All I can tell you is I've been saying for a long ass fucking time that I'm a time wizard. And I've been saying for a lot less time that I'm making every effort in the world to be a white wizard and not a gray wizard anymore. I still have some gray in me, as Rachel has taught me. But yeah, I agree, Winston's mom. Don't play with Ouija boards. I hope he's going back to New York alone. That would be great. I did him a great favor if that's the case. I mean, the most important thing is that he sever from her, because she's toxic, and she's had plenty of chances to make that epiphany, that breakthrough where she goes, okay, my way doesn't work. I'm going to try it Eric's way. I'm going to put on where I'm going to check my pride at the door for a second. It's that incredible pride that both she and Kimberly display, where it's anything that is critical of them at all, whether it's behavior or not, the most legitimate behavior critique in the world, doesn't matter. They refuse to look at that seriously. Ontario's in California.
Oh, I don't know.
Ontario is near the Ontario airport. Look, I get Spacey. I get the heart wants what the heart wants, and the heart leads men into stupid places and keeps them there for long periods of time. I accept that Tori's there, that Spacey's there right now in that space, and I want him to know that I'm supportive of him as a general rule, sort of spiritually, like I want him to be successful in life. I want him to win and be happy. I don't want him to be sad. I don't want him to hate me. I'd like to be friends with him, all that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, he brought in this particular flavor of toxicity at a moment when I have an extremely strong allergic reaction to it. I just cannot tolerate any of that toxicity, that flavor of toxicity anymore, without immediately trying to nuke the fuck out of it. Yeah. And that's a good thing, because nobody should tolerate that flavor of toxicity. If you have somebody in your life who will not stand there and be held to account with your words, then you need to fucking shame the living fuck out of them. Just tell them, if you will not do this, then you don't deserve the time of day from anybody. Well, CJ O'Connell, coordinated metaphysical impact is an interesting way to put it. But there's something called a dark argument, which is a spell that you're casting that you don't even really realize you're casting. Or it's a pre-spell. You set some stuff up without knowing why you're setting it up, but then eventually when it's all set up, you realize, oh, I set it up this way just so I could do this now and make it all yeah, right? That's dark argumentation where somehow
Right.
your unconscious self, your inner magician is guiding you, and you have enough faith to trust that inner magician, and you're doing things that will prove to have been very purposeful, but you have no idea why you're doing it.
Thanks, Winston's mom. I feel that.
That's why we're live streaming. This helps me to feel like I'm not burdened with the toxicity that Tori has burdened me with. So, like, when I read somebody say that she's saying meow meow in this video and saying that I lie and slander people, that makes me angry. She's asking me to carry the burden of her deceit again. No, she's not giving an example of a lie. She's not giving an example of slander.
She didn't even talk to you.
No, yeah, of course not. No, FI is another kind of magic, by the way. FI is the ultimate healing magic. And the ultimate grounding magic. So, like, there'll be times when I'm feeling Rachel and I are the same way. We both have these sort of like we start running weird ontologically and need to restart our computer.
Yeah.
And and what happens is I'll just go, I need cuddling with you, and she'll come lie down and we just hug each other for like minutes at a time and just say, like, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Oh, it's the
and it totally changes everything. It's like all of a sudden I'm grounded again, I'm calm, I'm happy.
It feels nice.
You know, and I'm not feeling that piercing, sharp tone of ontological distress. How would autism show up in the NI types, IN types, and the introverted types? I don't know. Do you know the NI types? I mean, I don't think it shows up in the NE types at all. People tend to side with their significant partners and facing outside opposition. So going on the offensive is counterproductive. You should learn some diplomacy skills. But see, I'm not. You think I'm looking for a certain result that I'm looking for. I'm not looking for Spacey to agree with me. I'm looking to unburden myself of the toxicity that Tori has burdened me with. So I'm doing a great job of that. I'm ranting on the internet. Doing a fantastic job. On the offensive gives me some satisfaction. I know at least that they're not going to be comfortable in their wrongness. You assumed I'm looking for a different outcome than I'm looking for. I'm trying to get rid of my own, the burden that's been imposed unfairly on me by venting about it.
It's good.
And so as a consequence, and that means I'm also trying to unburden myself by putting Spacey in a difficult spot, by making him have cognitive dissonance and by making him face the truths that I'm saying, because hopefully he'll take that out on Tori and then I'll have some more justice. That's why I'm doing this. Yeah. Of course, all this could be avoided if Tori would be a decent human being and actually have the conversation with me where she faces the music and learns some things and is humbled. In the absence of that, there's nobody to blame but Tori. And we should all blame her until she does break and be humbled before me and learn something. That's it. There's no reason to reinforce toxicity by coddling it. In fact, it is wrong to do so. I will not reinforce toxicity by coddling it. I didn't with Kimberly, which is why we had 2.5 years of fucking war. And, she was just as powerful as I was. And we ended up at a stalemate. She was just as evil as when I got her. The same. Unchanged. Unfixed. She had learned nothing. Meanwhile, I learned a lot. I learned how you can't use the forcefulness of evil to accomplish good. You can only use the forcefulness of evil to make evil uncomfortable. Now, what I mean by the forcefulness of evil is the forcefulness is not necessarily evil itself. Like, when I'm being forceful, I mean, I'm saying to Spacey, no, you must deal with this way or this way, binary choice. I'm not going to let you mush out of it. That's being forceful in the way that evil is forceful, but it's not actually evil force at all. It's good force because it compels it compels justice upon wrongdoing. Make evil uncomfortable again is a great hashtag. Do you know how to make a hormone?
Oh god.
No, Countess, look, I agree. We should not blame people in general. What we should do is critique behaviors. And only if a person is unable to deal appropriately with behavioral critiques does the problem become the person and not the behavior. This is how we fairly and healthily love one another. We say, I'm assuming you're a good person, so I'm only going to critique your behavior. And because you are a good person, you're going to respond well to honest and reasonable behavioral critiques. If, in fact, you cannot and will not respond well to honest and genuinely well-intentioned behavioral critiques, then at that point, you are the problem, not your behavior. And you need to be shamed and scolded until you realize that and accept responsibility for your behavior. If you will not accept responsibility for your behavior, then your behavior can never be the problem. It must be you. If someone went on the offensive against Rachel, you would be as quick to defend her too. You would be protective of her honor. I mean, the thing is, if Rachel did the shit that Tori did, I would be on the offensive against her miles before anybody else was.
Yeah.
There was no way that would fly without being resolved internally immediately. Am I somebody who holds off on critique so that not tell you and then do it publicly?
No.
To surprise you? No, never. If I have a problem with somebody, I talk to them first. It is only after multiple attempts and their refusal to be held to account that I talk on the internet about them. For example, Becky. She had ample opportunity to engage with me directly about the subject. She refused to. And then when I went on the internet, because I don't want to be burdened with your toxicity. If you're going to burden me with your toxicity and then not let me resolve shit with you, then I don't want to be burdened with it. So I'm going to unburden it by talking about it on the internet. Before I get fucking pilloried because everyone says, how dare you share her private shit with the world? How dare she burden me with justice unresolved?
It's affecting me too. I just wanted to say that.
It affects her too. So if I'm mad, it means somebody's fucked up and is in an ongoing, continual, perpetual state of maintaining that fucked upness by refusing to resolve it. I don't care how I look, Jean Grey. If I'm right, I'm right. Period. So I understand that I could polish this better. That would be a good thing to do. I could perhaps present these rants more successfully so that I don't look toxic. But if, in fact, people think I'm toxic based on what I'm saying and doing right now, then they have no concept of what toxicity is. They are not listening to my words. They are not hearing what I'm saying. They're ignoring what I'm saying and focusing on my tone.
I was thinking about, I think Brian Goss has a good point. Like, I feel that way.
I do too. And the thing is, there is no anger phase until you create the anger phase.
Yeah.
I do not start off angry. I start off assuming you are going to be reasonable and have a conversation with me. I become angry when it turns out you ignore what I say, shift ground, try to avoid hearing me, refuse to listen, don't want to listen, don't want to learn anything. Then I start getting angry. Then it's like, not only did you wrong me, but now you think I'm a stupid fucking bitch. Obviously, or you wouldn't be trying to shift ground on me. You wouldn't try to be ignoring my questions. You know, there's nothing more disrespectful in the world, as far as I'm concerned, than not answering my question. Trying to answer a different question, like I'm not going to notice. Trying to sneak away from it with some other thing, like I'm not going to notice. Like, you're smarter than me, for God's sake. The fuck you are, whoever you are. Hello? 6:45? Okay, great. That's cool. That's better. It gives me a little bit more time to get out of the house. Okay, thanks. Bye. Mike Hart, I am stubborn when I am right. I am not stubborn when I'm wrong. How difficult was it, Rachel, for you to get me to admit that I was wrong about that fairness question the other day about we had a porn conversation and I had said I was being unfair, right?
Yeah.
And it bothered her. And I kind of like tried to joke it off or shrug it off at first, but she persisted and said, "No, I actually want you to address this." And she was right. So I said, "No, actually, you're completely right here. Now that I think about it, I am being unfair. It's not okay for me to be unfair, and I'm sorry." And blah 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 blah.
Yeah, it was so sincere. You really thought about it. It was nice. You heard me out and you respected what I had to say. You took it all in and you apologized.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not stubborn. It's just that I'm not going to let your stubbornness make me wrong. That's all.
Right.
They do have an out. They can talk to me like a reasonable human being. I am not trying to do anything unfair to them. I'm not trying to rake them under, but then they shouldn't have fucked with me in the first place, Mike Hart. Remember, I don't start shit. Somebody else has fucked with me probably multiple times. I've given them rope and they've used it to try to hang me probably multiple times. And at that point, what happens is they realize, oh shit, he's been on to me this whole time. And they run away. Yeah. Don't fuck with me. Exactly. You don't want to be held to account. Don't fuck with me. Don't try to outsmart me, please. Especially if you aren't very smart and you're 20 years old.
Jean Grey makes a good point.
Whose channel is based on BS? The Big Five? Oh, you mean this channel? Oh, it's the dominant one. All right, cool. 2AGGINOY. You sound like a really smart person. I'm just saying, don't expect people to engage me angry. No. I get angry because they don't engage. Don't get it backwards, Mike Hart. I don't start off angry. I get angry when they're not engaging. And if they still won't engage and I'm angry, good. At that point, then my anger is there to punish them for their malfeasance. It is there to make them suffer the natural consequences of their wrongdoing. It's not unrealistic because you have the wrong outcome in mind. I am not trying to change their behavior. Again, I'm trying to unburden myself of the toxicity they have imposed upon me. Let them get defensive then, if that's what they need to do to experience the natural consequences of their actions. They can be as defensive as they want. When they walk away, they can walk away stinging. And they can learn something by replaying that experience over and over again in their head. Jackie Kitty, that's not true. None of my relationships end in burning bridges. My relationships end in people becoming absolutely terrified of bridges. It's never me. They don't like the bridge because all of a sudden, they no longer can hide all their bullshit on the bridge. Yes, you can ask me a philosophical question. Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then that's fine. Mutant macrophage. What you're saying is that my most important enemy, my most successful enemy is one who has no honor, no dignity, and is a coward. Okay, well, that's true. I find them my most annoying enemies. People with no dignity, no honor, and cowardice are my most annoying enemies. I agree. Does the belief that the assumption that one thing also exists independently of our experience transcend experience? And if yes, how do we know for sure if we can't from experience? Okay. It transcends it in a couple of different ways. Listen, to Agina, why? seem to have some kind of a problem. Now, I don't know if you're trying to tell us you're doing meth or what, but slandering me, I mean, actually saying I'm an ex-meth head is not slander, I guess. I did have a methamphetamine phase about how many years ago? About 17 years ago. 16 years ago. So if in fact that means that you think you should disrespect everything I say, learn nothing, that nothing I say has any value or meaning, that my words should be interpreted differently because of what you know about something I did 14 years ago, then you are not only a worthless sack of shit, but profoundly dumb. Okay. It is me sometimes, Jeebus. That's the thing. People like to say this. Eric never wants to be wrong. Not true. I totally accept when I'm wrong. I'm the first one to admit that.
When I called you out for your dad with the lying, you didn't want to fess up right away, but you did.
Right.
Like,
there's been a couple of occasions.
Yeah.
Yes. It's not like I don't suffer some consequences too. I make mistakes. And when I appreciate Rachel calling me out on it, does it make me feel a little ashamed of myself? Yeah. Does it make me feel a little hypocritical and critiqued? Yeah. It should. I did something questionable. I was hypocritical in some regard. I should be called out on that. And when I am called on that, what must I do? What am I morally required to do? Acknowledge it and be accountable, like everybody is.
Yeah, please hit like.
The thing is this. Zaylin, Winston's mom, everybody, people imagine, I guess, themselves being yelled at by me when they want to critique my interaction style. They forget the core and most important lesson. If you have not done something to wrong me, cross me, and not done it multiple times, and not revealed that you are potentially toxic, I'm not going to yell at you. I don't yell at people who haven't done anything wrong. I don't yell at people who've done minor things. I don't yell. It's like I don't yell at people even when they've done major things, maybe, as long as they show that they are that good, basically decent person and not toxic. And to be a basically decent person means to show they know and are willing and are eager to, not eager necessarily, but understand the importance of participating in the accountability process. That they would never say to me something like, "You never do it, Eric," because they're already fair and they realize I do that all the time. I'm always participating in the accountability process. I practice what I preach. So, it is okay to be wrong. It is not okay to be unable to learn anything. Yeah, you did not yell at me. This is my experience, but you could have stayed quiet. I mean, you burdened me with something. You imposed a burden on me that I didn't deserve. I said to Jean Grey, so we're going to do this shit? Are you coming? Cool. All right, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. You're going to buy a ticket, you're going to fly out here. We're going to hang out for a week. I woke and I was like starting to treat her like a girlfriend a little bit, like call her to check in periodically and stuff. And I wake up in the morning, I was excited to talk to her. I go on Facebook, she fucking blocked me. Now, that's exactly what I'm talking about, imposing a burden on me. I did nothing to deserve that. There was no reason at all to block me. We had just made plans. And so what am I supposed to do with that burden? The only thing I can do with it, I can't talk to her directly. After all, she's blocked me. I have no means of ever contacting her at all. So what do I have to do? I have to go vent about it on the internet. Am I to be blamed about not staying quiet? No, she's to be blamed for imposing that burden on me unfairly. And this is the kind of shit I deal with all the time. People are like, "Oh, you should stay quiet about that." No, she shouldn't have randomly blocked me for no reason and no, with no explanation after she had made plans just the night before to come to LA with me, to stay with me for a while. I have no reason to yell at you, Jean Grey. I didn't even yell at you in the thing. But I had every reason to talk about it on the internet, because otherwise I have to carry it around within me without any resolution at all. At least talking about it here it gets it out of me. It makes me feel as though I'm being heard. That's the bottom line. I need to know that I'm being heard. And if somebody won't let me be heard, then I'm going to be heard this way.
I mean, think about how many YouTubers do that all day, every day. That's all they do. They talk about their lives and what goes on and who they talk to and who argued with who. On YouTube, they do that all the time. That's normal. People vlog. It's called vlogging. This is from a millennial. It's vlogging. It's a thing. Look it up.
I don't have any problem with Jeannie Baby. Okay, I had no problem with Jeannie Baby. Jeannie Baby and I are cool. Why are we cool? Because when I started live streaming about it, she came in the live chat and started responding and stuff. And she was responsive. And she has been willing to address it. And when I've said these things, she's been like, yeah, okay, you're right, sort of. I couldn't explain it, I'm sorry. That's being accountable. That's being a decent human being, right? She blocked me in an instant. Fine, she made a mistake. She shouldn't have done that. But she's totally welcome back into the fold if she's willing to be sort of accountable for something. And I don't need to hold her to much account. I don't give a fuck, right? But I don't like not knowing what happened, right? It's like, what the fuck happened? That's an unfair burden to place on me. So I'm going to vent it out. But the nice thing is, she came in and said, and we were able to talk about it back and forth. She didn't run away. She actually said, all right, fuck it. I'm going to go engage with her about it. So great. So why didn't she get yelled at? Because she wasn't ignoring what I was saying. If I'd said, but Jean Grey, you blocked me. She doesn't ignore it. She says, I wish I could have explained, but didn't. That's responsive to what I said.
That is. Yeah, exactly. And I don't take offense at all, Jean Grey.
So that makes her a decent human being. She's responding to what I'm saying. You can try to spin it this way or this way, but she's actually responding. Yeah, and that's fine.
It's something.
Yeah, she's not ignoring me, trying to shift ground and make it blame me kind of a thing. She's not doing that. That's what I cannot tolerate.
Hi, Zealand Black. Have fun at the store.
I'm going to have to go to work in about 10, actually, it's Sunday night, so I don't have to leave until 6:30. It only take me 15 minutes to get up there. But I'm going to have to get myself ready. So I got about 15 minutes before I got to end the live stream.
So, Winston, I actually really do appreciate what Winston's mom is saying, because your dad has been talking about the fires too. So, I want to distract Eric for a second. Rachel, I think so. We have a flashlight in the kitchen area, right?
Yeah.
What else would we need? I don't know anything about this.
Oh, we're not going to be hit by that shit. I know you can't reason with some people. I get that. And that's fine as long as they don't directly wrong me or cross me or fuck with me. And if they do, and then they prove that they're one of the people you can't reason with, well, then as far as I'm concerned, bang, bang, motherfucker. Don't want to talk to me? Don't want to reason with me? Fuck you. I'll come rolling up on the internet, make abundantly clear to everybody. Okay.
Aw, thank you, mutant macrophage.
Tagino Y, you are an ENT I'm out. That's what you are. You're an ENT I'm out. Oh, good. You've been double timed out. Fun.
Whoa, Hambone, thank you.
You know what I like to, you know what I love? He was hanging out here this whole time after the last time out, adding to my stats. And I hope he's still here after another 600 seconds of timeout. I mean, you are really paying a lot for a little there in terms of time to output. But I'm going to keep bringing you up because I want to keep you here for the whole live stream. It's just hilarious. Okay.
Give me the damn wrench, Countess.
Okay, philosophical thinkers, quit spamming the chat. I'm trying to read shit and it goes up too fast.
Full tank of gas at all times and don't ignore evacuation warnings. That's good. Actually, that's really good advice. I never ignore evacuation things. Like, that's just, but that's me.
I just realized we're talking about Eric Shatterness. And back when I was into feminism, you sound angry was a well-known kind of dirty trick to shut women up. The same criticism used on Eric. You sound angry, right?
Exactly.
So it doesn't really work on me because when people tell me I sound angry, I say the obvious response. I should be angry. You fucked up. How would you like me to respond to that? With joy? With sadness? With confusion? No, I'm angry because you have earned my fucking wrath. You purchased it. You chose it. This is the message I talk to people all the time. I've told it to multiple women who want to play Mia. You need to make a real choice. You need to own your choice, and you need to remember that what you do or do not do is a choice. This is one of the fundamental engines of toxicity, is a belief that things just happen, that we don't really choose things. I can't choose this or that. That doesn't mean I can choose. I'm just this way or that way. Tori tried to fucking tell me she couldn't. I was asking her to violate her nature as a type in order to learn anything. Like, no, I'm an ISFJ. I can't do that. She tried to pull that shit with me. I'm like, do you think it's easy for an ENTP to defer to another person and learn from them? No, that's not within my nature at all. But I've had to do it on multiple occasions in life, and it's made me a better person. And now it's your opportunity to learn from somebody and be a better person as well. I don't want to learn anything from you, Eric. Well, then, fuck you. And what I told her in the moment was, well, then, okay, I will continue to tolerate your presence here for space, rather than just send you out in the street and say, start walking. I will tolerate your presence here, but keep your fucking mouth shut. I don't want to hear a word out of you. And what is the first thing she did? Like fucking 5 seconds later, she starts talking quietly to Spacey, trying to show me that she's not going to follow any instructions. She's sitting here in my fucking house, eating my food, drinking my drinks, and refusing to be honest with me about anything, trying to blame me for wrongdoing. Continually, every time I'm trying to talk to her about anything, she's afraid to blame me. And then when I tell her, shut your fucking mouth, she wants to immediately flaunt her unwillingness to do so. And I said, Tori, you better shut your fucking mouth or you are going to be walking to Temple City. She did it again. Immediately thereafter, she turned to talk quietly to Stacey, like, I'm not going to be. Get the fuck out. You shut your fucking mouth or you are off of this property and gone. I do not want you anywhere near her. So what did she then do? She petulantly stormed off. Okay, fine then. I'll just wait in the car. You mean my car? That's the kind of bullshit. Right? No understanding that a certain amount of respect is required if you're going to, need to take advantage of a man's resources. That when you call me to ask me for money, as she did, a couple nights before the fight I'm talking about, and I say, okay, well, first thing you need to change here, Tori, is your attitude. And she gets angry at me and ends up hanging up on me. Somehow there's a disconnect there, right? This woman who was imposed upon me by someone who I charitably brought into my home to help and work with is calling me to ask me for money and wants to frame this conversation through the frame of her scolding me for not doing enough for them. And then hangs up on me when I won't go along with that frame and tell her she needs to change her attitude. That's the kind of shit that I put up with before I ultimately said no more. Matthew Alistair Spacey did appreciate it. He was very appreciative. Your last letter is retardation. Yep, you're an ENT retardation. Okay. But I love the fact that you're still here. Thank you. You've got another 300 seconds, and I'm looking forward to seeing you and what you have to say at the end of that timeout. You'll still be here, and that's wonderful. Thank you.
We're just spin it. Let me kick him out.
No, I want him
Yeah,
here.
this is the best.
It's way funnier that he's staying here so that I can keep putting him on timeout. It's much better that way. It's like there's some sort of disconnect where he's not quite getting what's happening here. Okay, so anyway, she is a nightmare. And that's why I'm not going to stand back and pretend otherwise and let it just sort of go like he said, she said, Eric and Tori are fighting. No, Eric's battling toxicity again. Toxicity has gotten near Eric, and once again, he has kicked it in the fucking ass, as he always will. And it doesn't matter how many people tell him, you sound angry, Eric, or I don't like your tone, Eric, or, you know, Eric, maybe you're the problem, or whatever fucking bullshit they say. I am a warrior of truth. And when God's fiery sword appears in my hand, it is because the devil is near. That's what I want to do metaphysically. I need to metaphysically beat Tori with a wooden spoon, and she needs to sit there and take it. Mm-hmm. And if you want, then, well, radiation therapy is the only thing to do with cancer. You got to excise the thing. You can't negotiate with cancer. Okay, cancer, you can have this part of my body, but stay away from the rest of it. You got to excise it. You cut it out of you. Radiation treatment, something. Do not let cancer fester around you. It just gets worse. You attack, attack, attack. All good men. Now's the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country.
Who said that?
Me.
Oh, it's so presidential.
It's the mic check thing I had you say.
Yeah.
What that thing is for actually is it's a sentence that people used to test typewriters back when they were typewriters.
Yeah. I used to do it in typing class.
Now
I thought a president said that. Oh, wow. Well, I guess one did.
Joey Jojo Chabadoo, I have. And the answer is I am not a toxicity magnet because the number of toxic people I can identify around me is very, very small. Anytime there's a toxic person around me, they stay around me for almost no time at all. I'm a toxic repeller. When I got with Kimberly, it was a unique situation where I had somebody toxic, but instead of being able to repel them as I normally do, I was obligated to try to fix them because they were my significant other.
Anything interesting? It might be the Rangers game.
You got a phone message. So the point is what? Oh, right. So Kimberly, I tried to fix rather than, but of course, being toxic, she couldn't tolerate it because it required her to let down her defenses, be vulnerable, and be real and stuff like that. And she just, she would have had to tear down all of her existing cities and start from scratch in order to be healthy, the way that I needed her to be healthy. So anyway, that was just she was an Eric neutralizer for the entire duration of that relationship. All my magic was on, life support systems only mode, and whatever. What I did though, I cleared her life of toxic people. So her aunt ran and hid, of course, because she's a fucking her aunt's a textbook narcissist. All the indecent people in her life ran and fled because I was there. And they know, they can smell it on me that they're not going to get away with their bullshit. And I started making waves in their family right away because I saw all kinds of toxic shit going on. People don't like that when you come in and make waves in their family, right? I get that. And me in public perception. They're going to think Eric's interfering with people's family. Not true. When somebody gets a text from a family member that speaks to them disrespectfully and displays a horribly toxic way of interacting with other family members, and the person who's receiving that text is my significant other, it's my fucking problem at that point. Nobody's going to speak to my significant other in this way because they're speaking to me in this way. I'm part of a 2-person team. So what toxic people have I encountered lately? Well, again, they're not my people. They're my people's people. Tori is not my person. She's Spacey's person. Rachel's mom is not my person. She's Rachel's person. So, and of course, who's running from me in abject terror as fast as she can with as much scrambles as little legs can get away from me with Rachel's mom. When Rachel mentioned that we were going to come visit New York and would like her to meet me, all of a sudden, Rachel's mom was unable to tell her whether or not she'd be in New York in January or when, where she'd be. Well, I mean, could you maybe come up with a time where you do know where you'll be? Oh, no. It's all a mystery. Who knows? I could be anywhere. Could be in France. Could be in Ireland. I don't know where I could be in January. I could be 100 miles up in the air. Who knows? Why? Is it because she's terrified of Rachel? No. Because she's terrified of me. Why is she terrified of me? Because she knows that her toxic bullshit won't stand. That's it. And neither will anybody else's. So if you're toxic and you want to come bring your toxic bullshit at me,
oh, have fun.
It will not stand, and I will bring the shock and awe to make sure that one way or another you feel some repercussions from your bad action. Now, if I engage in bad action, I am right here. Come critique me. I am standing here ready to be critiqued. If you are right, I will acknowledge it, admit I am wrong, and to the extent that it is necessary, try to make amends. So no, I am not positioning myself as outside of this equation. I'm positioning myself as absolutely just as subject to critique as everybody else. And if I have wronged you in some way, Tori, if I have in fact slandered you, I stand here ready to hear your words. And if they are right, acknowledge it. If I have lied about you or slandered you, cite that lie or piece of slander. Tell me what it is. If you are correct, I will acknowledge it. I can't think of anything. What up, Zaid? Zaid was a great debater, good debater, strong debater. Is it that Zaid? Were you talking about my former debater, Zaid? I'm pretty sure that's what his last name was. He's like the kid. You know, he's like, are you in high school, Zaid?
Oh, Zaid.
Is that Zaid? Or maybe freshman college now? I don't know how long ago it was that I had you. You're a junior now. Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, cool. This is a kid who was with my super cool Walnut team. He was on the same team with Lil Edmund, who called himself Lit Legend. He comes around here sometimes too. That was a fun fucking class, right? Was that a fun class? Zaid, that was a fun class. We had a good time in there. Down in the bottom room, when we were down in the bottom. That was cool. I like that group. That is a fair critique, Isaiah Rude. When was it? If it was during the typing blitz, there's a decent chance that those videos are lost because that laptop broke. I had my old laptop, which worked for a long time, and it broke. And no, I assumed I assumed a blank would be a decent person because that's my default, period. Put whatever in blank because that's the default that every decent person has. You have to be trusting enough to assume decency in the other and be surprised when they don't provide it. Okay, so Isaiah Rude, I'm sorry about that, and I will give you something else as a compensatory thing. But if it was during the typing blitz, then the video is probably lost because that laptop broke, and we lost a lot of people's videos on that problem there. I was having technical difficulties throughout that shit. I'm surprised we even pulled it off at all. So please email me, and I will find a way to make that up to you. Okay, maybe I'll schedule another brief meeting with you, and refresh my memory as to what the conversation was like, and then I'll do a sort of extra video where I explain how you fit in with my general experience of other people of your type, like whether you're more or less of that, which is basically what I plan to talk about. Okay. I don't think I'm burdening myself at all. I think I'm making things easy. I have a clear code of behavior. It's easy to know whether I'm following it or not. I don't have to look to my FI at all. I got a split. I'm going to be late to work, and I'm actually looking forward to going to work because I get to see these people.
Yeah,
we didn't stick around for awards, so I haven't seen them since he won.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
Hear about it.
All right, everybody. See you later. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese.